Hello, everyone. My name's Jeff Liebman. I'm the faculty director of the Rappaport Institute here at the Kennedy School. And welcome to this year's clothing celebration of the Rappaport Scholars Summer Fellows Program. For 22 years, our fellowship programs have enabled Boston area graduate students to spend a summer working in the public sector. And the fellows here tonight are joining an alumni network of more than 600 former law and public policy fellows. This year, fellows have been working in the Attorney General's office, Boston City Hall, the MBTA, the State House, and many other agencies and city halls across the metro area. And as you will hear shortly from the fellows themselves, they have been working on a wide range of policy topics. We have quite rigorous evidence that these fellowships change the course of people's lives. Specifically, we have compared the career paths of our fellows to the people who narrowly missed getting fellowships and were the runners-up. And we can show from doing that comparison that receiving the fellowship leads people to be much more likely to spend time in the public sector, and specifically in the public sector in the Boston area. And this evidence raises the question of why a relatively short exposure to public service has this impact. And I have a theory of this based on my own time in government. Everyone knows that government work is fulfilling because you can make a difference in people's lives at a very large scale. And I think most people also understand the team aspect of government. You get to work together with incredible colleagues on important problems. But what I think people don't understand about government work until they've experienced it is how intellectually challenging the work is and how many different skills, how many different parts of your brain you have to use simultaneously to succeed. Analytic skills, implementation skills, political skills, team building skills, skills operating across boundaries and cross sectors. And once you've experienced the challenge, I think in government, I think it's very hard to do anything else, because it's very hard to find any other role where you have to use so many parts of your brain simultaneously to be effective. At any rate, that's my theory. So now I need to do some thank yous. First, I want to thank the supervisors and mentors of the fellows. Can I ask all the supervisors and mentors to stand for a moment? This program and its success would not be possible without you. This year we have 18 new supervisors. Thank you for hosting our fellows and for allowing them to benefit from your expertise. Second, I want to thank the teams from the Rappaport Institute and the Rappaport Center who run the fellowships and make this all possible. At the Rappaport Institute, we have our executive director, Catherine Carlson, and our associate director, Polly O'Brien, along with my faculty colleague, Linda Bilmes, who make this all happen. And from the Rappaport Center at Boston College Law School, we have the faculty director, Dan Kantstrom, the executive director, Lissy Medvedov, and I understand we also have a special guest today, the interim dean, Diane Ring, from Boston College Law School. So thank you to all of them. Most importantly, I need to say thank you to Jerry and Phyllis Rappaport for their vision in creating this program. This is the first closing ceremony without Jerry, and we really miss him. Jerry was an incredible person. He would see these things that were broken in the world, and he would think that they needed to be fixed, and many people do that, but he would then actually fix them. And he did this decade after decade. When he was in his early 20s, he was at Harvard Law School, and he thought law school, the way it was being taught, didn't have any connection to the real world and to policy, so he set up this thing called the Harvard Law School Forum that would invite public leaders to come speak at the law school. And it didn't just get the students exposed. This was back in the 1940s. It became one of the most important radio shows in the Boston area, and in that era, in an era obviously before television. And it's still operating today. And then when he graduated from law school at the age of 22, in 1949, he ran the Boston mayoral campaign of John Hines as Hines defeated James Michael Curley and ushered in a new era of Boston politics. And this was a momentous election. Curley had first been elected mayor of Boston in 1914. So the end of the curling machine in 2049 was a big deal. And of course, I think people know, without a Rappaport Fellowship, we probably wouldn't have our current mayor. And it's a pretty incredible thing that Jerry played this pivotal role in what were probably the two most transformational elections in the city of Boston in the last 100 years. And he played this role 70 years apart in these two elections. And it's just, I can't quite fathom it, but it's true. And of course, there's so much more, particularly the urban renewal project in the West End and his efforts, obviously, to set up these great institutes and centers to connect Boston area universities with our local governments. The second to last time I talked to Jerry, he asked me what I was up to. And I described my research project in Chelsea, Massachusetts, where we're doing a randomized controlled trial around a basic income program, and it's the largest RCT of a basic income program to date. And when I described the project to me, he said, "That's not a very interesting project." He said, "It's just measurement. There's no theory there. There's no new idea." And that's what it was like working with Jerry. No matter how well you were doing, he always pushed you to do better. And given how messed up the world is right now, it seems sort of unfair that Jerry has left us to have to deal with all these problems without him here, either to solve them or to push us to do better in solving them. But I think we're going to be okay for two reasons. The first is he left us not only with 600 Rappaport Fellow alumni who are out there in the world working to solve our problems, but he left us with a permanent engine to produce more such fellows and to continue to connect our universities with our policymakers. And the second reason I think we're going to be okay is that we still have half of the Jerry and Phyllis team here with us. I've been leading the Rappaport Institute, I can't remember now whether it's 7 or 8 years, but I would meet with Jerry and Phyllis 7 or 8 times a year, so maybe 60 meetings total. And I think there were only twice that I met with Jerry alone. Every other meeting has been with the partnership of the two of them, and it really is a team and a partnership. And so I think we're going to be okay. So. All right, so now it's my job to get us going on the real event tonight, which is hearing from all of you about your experiences this summer. And here's how it's going to work. I am about to walk over to my table and hand off the portable microphone, and we're going to pass the microphone around that table, and then we'll go table by table in numeric order. And the other thing I've been told I have to tell you is that when it's your turn to speak, we'd appreciate it if you'd aim yourself toward the camera so that this gets captured for posterity. And again, if you don't want to be captured for posterity, you can stare that way. But anyway, that is what we would be grateful if you would do. So I'm going to hand it off to Bailey, and you're up first.
Okay, can everybody hear okay? Okay, wonderful. Hi, a little louder. Good? Okay. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Bailey Cyber. I am in the MPP program at the Harvard Kennedy School. I'd like to quickly thank the Rappaport family for this incredible experience. It really has been monumental as I'm kind of thinking forward in my career. I had the privilege of working with the Mayor's Office of New Urban Mechanics for the summer, working on a project exploring collaboration opportunities between the MBTA and the Boston Public Library to see if we can increase engagement with the many BPL digital and physical resources that are currently available. This included a lot of stakeholder conversations and also actually creating and deploying a survey. So we were able to speak with over 250 MBTA riders to get a better understanding of barriers that they encounter to engage with these existing resources. One thing that I learned is how much open data there is in the city and state, so I was able to use MBTA open data to inform a lot of the decisions that I made along the way. And this got me very interested and excited about public transportation. So I'm looking forward to taking classes on that subject at GSD and HKS this upcoming year.
Bailey, that was amazing. I'm gonna have to follow you. All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Jordan Michael Biggers. I am currently an MPA candidate at Harvard Kennedy School. And before I say anything else, I would like to say thank you to the Jerry and Phyllis Foundation for giving me the opportunity to serve under the banner of a fellowship that has really changed the fabric of public service in Greater Boston. Ooh, sorry. This summer, I had the opportunity to work with the City of Boston in the Department of Innovation and Technology, partnering with stakeholders to establish a digital equity strategic framework and project plan for building out the pillars of digital equity programming in Greater Boston. One thing that I have taken away from this placement is a strong reminder that it takes all of us to make a difference and to fight inequity in all its forms. And when we do that together, we can make a way out of no way. So thank you all for your time.
Good evening. My name is Alexis Delaquilla, and I'm a rising 2L at New England Law. I would like to start by thanking Phyllis and the late Jerry Rappaport for welcoming me into this community. It was because of your vision that I was able to be at the Department of Children and Families this summer, working on the Fair Hearings Unit. I focused on cases related to child neglect, sexual abuse, and physical abuse. And my managers really helped me navigate that really difficult topics and areas of the law that we have a lot of work to still do. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to have been able to work on that this summer. Also, I was able to reflect with my managers on the importance of protecting individuals' due process rights. It is something that reinvigorated me to go back to New England law and continue to study to become an advocate for children and families in Massachusetts. Also, I would like to thank Lissy because none of this is possible without you. So thank you, and thank you to the Rappaport family.
I forgot to say one other logistical thing, which is we're going to say no applause because otherwise we're going to start competing over how loud they are, and plus it will make this dinner is fabulous and long, but we don't need it to be longer. So no applause, please, until the end.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Melissa. I'm about to be a second-year student at the Boston College School of Social Work, where I'm also a cohort member of the Latinx Leadership Initiative, which aims at preparing future social workers to work with Latinx communities. This summer, I got to work at the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, or DESE, on 2 projects. The first one with Chris Pond, who's here with me, and it was looking at continuation grants from schools and districts who are working towards improving social emotional learning and mental health well-being for their students. And the second was working at the initial stages of the Playful Learning Institute, which aims to use play pedagogy as a tool and strategy for racial equity. This has truly been a challenging and rewarding experience for me, personally, academically, and professionally. So much so that I am currently trying to find ways to continue learning about policy and how to include that in my work as a social worker. Lastly, I just want to say thank you to Phyllis for this amazing opportunity that has truly changed me. So thank you.
Dang it, no applause. Hi, everybody. My name is Anandita Shrestha, and I am a rising second-year student at BC School of Social Work. This summer, I worked at the Mayor's Office for Immigrant Advancement, where I helped develop a non-clinical mental health mini grant project, a mouthful, I know, but where we basically focused on providing non-clinical programming for immigrant residents in the greater Boston area. Some examples were yoga, Reiki, storytelling, things like that. And we wanted it to be sort of like an alternative form of Western talking therapy. And one point where we knew that we were on the right track was actually two days ago when one of our clients expressed that how it's been nice to simply just express their feelings and take space as an immigrant in America, not having to explain their context on and on. because everyone in the group are immigrants who are provided with these interventions. And I just hope to continue doing that after I graduate next year. So thank you very much. And lastly, thank you to the Rappaport family for this wonderful opportunity. Thanks.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrea Millard. I'm a rising 2L at Suffolk University Law School. First off, I'd like to say thank you to the Rappaport family and also to Lissy especially. I don't think I'm ever going to forget getting the call on my way to Contracts 2 and jumping off of the elevator, probably causing a very big issue to take that call from Newton, Massachusetts. So this has been such an amazing summer for me. I was at the Attorney General's office in the Medicaid fraud division. My focus definitely is healthcare policy. I've spent my time prior to entering law school at Boston Medical Center, and I know that this is something I want to focus in on my career. My supervisor called me probably 2 months before my internship even started and told me, this is not going to be busy work. You are going to be doing actual things. The division chief is going to ask you to do things on the daily. So that is something that definitely happened. I experienced all levels of litigation and was able to sit in on relator interviews for whistleblower lawsuits. I was able to go to court and experience empanelment. It was really a valuable experience for a law student who's really just starting out on her career. So overall, I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and I can't wait to see what happens next for me and for all the other fellows as well. So thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kaylee Screen, and I'm an MD-JD candidate from Boston University. And first, Mrs. Rappaport, thank you so much for this opportunity. I think I echo everyone by saying this is a summer that really has changed the trajectory of my life and what I'm thinking about doing next. I've been at the Massachusetts Attorney General's office in their healthcare division and just been really spoiled to use both halves of my brain. That's sort of how I separate the degrees. To do good work, because it's sort of bringing it together. I think one of the most impactful things was doing research for supporting the AG as they submitted an amicus brief for coming up for the Harvard case this fall, and just being able to make the case on how diversity really changes how healthcare is processed and how we all need each other to really create the country that we know and love. And so I just want to say thank you. I've learned so much. And Lissy, our fearless leader and our Rappaport mom, I just am so grateful for you, and can also remember exactly where I was on Commonwealth Avenue when you called me with the news. So thank you so much, and thank you again.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Aja Kennedy. I'm going into the second year of my PhD program in economics and public policy at Tufts University. I'd like to thank the Rappaport family and everyone who works at the Rappaport Institute for providing the opportunity that I've had this summer, and all the other fellows. I was working with Massachusetts Housing Partnership on their policy and research team, who has been really focused on providing technical support to the state this summer for the implementation of the new MBTA communities zoning law. And as the other folks on the team are working really hard, hashing out the details about how this law will be implemented, I got the opportunity to zoom out a little bit and take a big picture look at the relationship between residential density and some economic outcomes in eastern Massachusetts, since this law is intended to increase residential density in communities that are served by the MBTA. So it was a really great opportunity to use this new data set that's been put together by MHP. And also, it's been really cool to learn about the housing issue in the city of Boston, since I'm new to Boston. I've only been here about a year. And also a really great opportunity to see how I can connect with state and local government and still get an opportunity to use my technical skills, because I got to work with a team that is very technically oriented, and we could kind of nerd out about data together every week, and it's been really fun. And also, I think in the future, this network is going to be incredibly useful, because already this summer I've had so many coffee chats with different people to learn about the issues, and I know going forward I want to continue to do research in urban economics and neighborhood change, and I know that this network is going to continue to be useful for that, so that I can craft a research agenda that really informs policy. So thanks again. Next table.
Hi, everybody. My name is Michael Bueno. I'm a master's in public policy student at the Harvard Kennedy School. My placement this summer was at the Mayor's Office of Housing, working on a project, basically research that will help inform the deployment of $20 million in American Rescue Plan Act funds to help deep energy retrofits for affordable housing units. Something that I'm proud of is a suggestion of mine for changing the acquisition opportunity program, which is basically a program that enables the buy down of existing naturally occurring affordable housing and to keep it affordable for deed restriction to, in perpetuity. The change is now, instead of 40% of the units being required to be deed restricted or accessible to affordable low-income families, it's now 50%, and that is also in alignment with a lot of the mass save for major utilities in the state of Massachusetts in the free money and free upgrades that they provide in terms of energy efficiency. So future properties that go through this program now have the incentive to really decarbonize as they move forward. So I'm very grateful to the Rappaport family for enabling me to do this work. I appreciate it.
Hello, my name is Chris Papavasilio. I'm a 3L student at Harvard Law School, and I spent the summer working for the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office based out of the Charlestown Courthouse and then also downtown. I'd like to start by saying, as everybody else has, thank you so much, Phyllis. This has been an incredible opportunity. Prior to law school, I was a public school teacher for 7 years, and one of the reasons I left was to try and have a bigger lever, a bigger impact on just social change in society at large. And the policy approach that I've gotten to see and explore as a fellow has just been instrumental as I project how I can make that difference going forward. With the Suffolk County DA, while I was working on policy downtown, I focused on ghost guns. For those that aren't familiar, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your perspective, for about $2,000, you can buy a 3D printer and make your own gun right now. It's kind of a scary thing. And you can do that without violating any Massachusetts or federal laws, given that you take certain precautions. And this is becoming an increasing problem societally and one increasingly in Massachusetts crime. So I spent part of my time working on different approaches that might be able to survive challenges to the Second Amendment and survive challenges to any objections to it, as we can kind of hopefully sculpt some sort of legislative response to this problem. It's been incredibly interesting to experience and to see from that criminal perspective, and I wouldn't have had that opportunity if it weren't for this fellowship. So thank you once again.
Hi, everybody. My name is Vin Sweeney, and I'd like to start off by thanking Phyllis and the Rappaport family. I've had the pleasure to meet Phyllis twice this summer. I am a second-year student at the Boston College School of Social Work, and I was fortunate to work at the Mayor's Office of Housing this summer. I spent 25 years working as a community mental health nurse and wanted to pivot to policy because I was tired of discharging my patients to the same situation they came in from. So I came into this from a substance abuse lens, but I worked in housing. So I learned a whole new set of acronyms, and it was a little bit overwhelming. I worked on the Street to Home initiative, which is housing the formerly unsheltered homeless at Mass and Cass in Boston, for those who are local. And I worked on the stabilization side. So they have already housed over 200 people, but they're now scrambling to sort of build in the supports to keep those people housed. So it was a very interesting project, and I was very lucky to have it. Thanks, everybody.
Hi there, my name is Jonathan Sturr. I'm a rising 2L at Boston College Law School. Of course, I would like to thank the Rappaport family, first and foremost, for providing this opportunity. To all of the fellows in this room, over the summer, I was working at the Massachusetts Commission Against Discrimination, where I helped the attorney advisors in the investigations unit assess discrimination claims all from throughout the Commonwealth, ranging from sexual harassment, employment claims, vaccine discrimination issues. All of it kind of ends up at the MCAD. And I just learned so much about not only about discrimination issues in the first place, but how important it is and how to protect vulnerable populations within the state. A lot of the people who come to the MCAG are unrepresented, meaning they don't have access to legal services, do not have a lawyer, and to see how the MCAD approaches these pro se clients, complainants, and support them and provide them the support is really inspiring. And I really have to thank my supervisor, Pamela Myers, who is here with me, for sheltering me along the way and teaching me so much. So it was a really fantastic opportunity and really inspiring, and I look forward to the future. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mariam Salihu. I am a third-year PhD student at UMass Boston, and I would like to thank the Rappaport family for this opportunity. It was an incredible opportunity. I got to work at the Mayor's Office of Women's Advancements. I worked on issues relating to women's social and economic policies around, but in the city of Boston, but also looking at what other cities are doing to advance women's rights. One of the things that I learned is the importance of listening to communities, because within communities are embedded within communities are tacit knowledge and solutions to their problems. And the Mayor's Office of Women's Advancement prioritizes community listening sessions, and those sessions you learn about what communities' needs are, and you're able to put the information that you get from that listening session into programming and policy making. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Devin Perry. I'm a rising second-year law student at Northeastern University School of Law. I'd also like to thank the Rappaport family for the wonderful opportunity I've had this summer. I'm extraordinarily grateful for it, and also for all of the fellows I've been able to spend Thursday afternoons with. I've had the pleasure of interning at Senate Council this summer, and it's been a really interesting time to be in the State House with the activity of the Supreme Court this past June. Thanks to my supervisor, Charlie, I've had the opportunity to research some of the language used in previous iterations of the reproductive health care bill that was passed this past Tuesday. And I was also able to be in Senate chambers, again, thanks to my supervisor, when that happened on Tuesday. It's been a really interesting experience that I'm really grateful for. And I've learned a lot about the importance of the precision of language, how nimble state and local government can be, and especially how state legislation can expand and contract in response to the shifting legal regimes in this country. So it's been a really extraordinary opportunity.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Haji. I firstly want to thank Ms. Rappaport for this incredible program. I am from New Haven, Connecticut, greatest city in America. And when I was there, I had the distinct honor of serving as an alderman, and so I got to see firsthand the very direct impact that state and local government can have on people's lives. And I think what's so spectacular about this program is that, unlike other fellowships that may fund things down in DC, this one really wants to have an impact in our communities and at the state and local level. So I think that's incredible. It's a long way of saying thank you, Ms. Rappaport. I also have a couple other people to thank. I want to thank Mayor Joe Curtatone, the greatest mentor one can have. He has told me that since he's retired, he has so much free time on his hands, and that he would love to spend it with all you guys. I would also want to thank Lissy. I think Lissy is the person who's made this program what it is. I think she's our rock, and I'm really grateful for everything. Thanks, Lissy. Lissy also happens to be from New Haven, so there's a little bit of that in there. I'll be short with what I've been up to this summer. I have been working in the Attorney General's office in her Constitutional and Administrative Law Division. So, long story short, my job is to help defend state agencies in court. So, the Legislative Assembly recently passed a sports betting law. It was my job to look at the constitutional arguments as to why that law was valid or invalid. There are a couple regulations out of the Department of Conservation and Recreation which were challenged under Articles 10, 16 of the Declaration of Rights, First Amendment, 14th Amendment, any argument you could possibly make, they made it. And So I had worked on that and other regulations, and it's been a great experience. So yeah, thank you again, Ms. Rappaport, and nice.
Hey folks, my name is Alejandro Jimenez Jaramillo. I study technology policy at MIT. First want to thank Phyllis Rappaport and Jay Rappaport for funding my work this summer, and also Steph Costalibo, couldn't be here tonight, Boston CDO, for inviting me to join Boston's analytics team during a pivotal period of growth. Over the past 10 weeks, I've researched how cities across the US have operationalized their data governance practices, and then used those findings to update Boston's open data policy and draft a citywide data governance framework and charter. Those deliverables will inform pilot projects the city can pursue in the fall to improve their internal data documentation and improve their community technology practice as well. I think my biggest takeaway from this summer has been just how crucial education and relationship building both within and without City Hall are to realizing a city government that manages data as ethically and carefully as it does money. The fellowship itself is very formative on my long-term plans. At a high level, the ideas, information, and people I've engaged with have confirmed I want to work at the intersection of digital justice and local governments after graduating. More immediately, I'm actually finalizing plans to push my last semester at MIT down the road to continue working in advancing citywide data governance for Boston with the analytics team. So thank you to the Rappaports for making that possible. Really appreciate it.
Hi everyone, my name is Ivy Miller. I'm a JD MPH student at Northeastern and Tufts. Thanks to the generosity of Phyllis and Jerry Rappaport, I've had the pleasure of working at the Massachusetts Health Policy Commission this summer. At the Health Policy Commission, I worked on a report to the state legislature on the state of healthcare provider supply in Massachusetts. And we were kind of primarily looking at how supply impacts health outcomes in and across the Commonwealth, across different strata. I'm just really looking forward to applying everything I've learned in this fellowship to the MPH part of my degree, which starts this upcoming fall. And I think I've learned so much, and I'm just really excited to start.
Hey everyone, my name is Isabella. I'm a dual degree master's student here at Harvard Kennedy School in the MPP and incoming MBA student at MIT Sloan. I start in the fall. I would like to start by thanking Phyllis Rappaport and the Rappaport Institute, Catherine and Polly as well, for the amazing opportunity I have this summer. This summer, I have been working with the city of Revere, a city I had the pleasure of working before through Professor Linda Billman's field lab course, and I will also like to thank her as well for connecting me with the Institute. I've been conducting some research on the nonprofit space in Revere, interviewing nonprofit leaders to understand ways in which the city government could improve support for and also foster a thriving nonprofit space in the city. These interviews really introduced me to a community of people that deeply care about Revere and are committed to changing the lives of Revere residents. And I also learned a little bit about the challenges they're facing and hopefully some of the ways in which strengthening their relationship with the city government can and hopefully will help in the future. This experience really reinforced to me how we can only achieve impactful and scalable changes if city government, the nonprofit space, and I would also add here the private sector work together towards a shared vision. And I hope to continue exploring this in the business part of my degree that I start in the fall.
Hi, everyone. My name is Noam Yousefi. I'm a rising 2L at Suffolk Law. I had the distinct privilege of working with Senator Joanne Comerford's office this summer in the State House. She's a bold and progressive leader in the State House and as well for her districts in Central Mass. So I had a really eye-opening opportunity to witness equity policy being made firsthand. I had the privilege of working on reproductive care, ensuring that that's a legally protected care. Also working a lot on cannabis commission regulations and ensuring that our cannabis industry is equitable and serving really those who have been most disproportionately affected by the war on drugs. Working through this office, like I said, has been a distinct privilege. I really want to thank Brian Rosman, the legislative director, for guiding me and opening my eyes to the many avenues of working with stakeholders and advocates. And I really want to thank the Rappaport family for making this opportunity possible. I have been trying to break into the State House for a few years now, and having the Rappaport name has really just made that so seamless and brought a network together that I really could not have ever imagined. So thank you so much.
Hi everyone, my name is Angela Wu. I am a rising 2L at Harvard Law School, and this summer I was interning in the Boston Mayor's Office for Immigrant Advancement. First, I'd like to thank Phyllis and the Rappaport family for their vision and generosity that gave me the amazing opportunity to work in City Hall this summer. I also want to thank, of course, Lissy for being such a shining light since she gave us that call and throughout the summer. And she told me not to thank her, but of course I have to thank my mom, who is my guest this evening, for her unconditional love and support. So as the daughter of immigrants myself, it has been such an honor to work in Boston City Hall and work on policies that strengthen the ability of immigrants to fully participate in the vibrant civic and cultural life that Boston has to offer. And for me, this has included developing a strategic plan to better support the LGBTQ+ immigrants in Boston, and I am very excited to be able to share that plan with the newly established Mayor's Office of LGBTQ+ Advancement next week. I've also had the opportunity to research and make recommendations related to city policies that would make them more inclusive to all residents in Boston, regardless of their immigration status. And this summer has really shown me what an impact city government can have on supporting and uplifting marginalized communities, and I'm very excited to continue pursuing my interest in state and local governance throughout my time in law school and throughout the rest of my career.
Hi everyone, my name is Samantha Burles. I am a incoming second-year student, or upcoming second-year student, MPP student at the Heller School at Brandeis University. My concentration's in economic and racial equity. So I'd like to first thank the Rappaport family for this amazing opportunity. This summer I had the opportunity to work at DTA, so that's a Department of Transitional Assistance. I was working on a policy academy, so essentially that's tailored to internal hires at DTA, and it was aimed to create a curriculum to what they noticed that it was a hiring gap and a knowledge gap with hires at DTA. So really focusing on the basics of SNAP and TANF, and also like the historical context and social context of those programs and why those programs exist, and the work that not only DTA is doing but is planning to doing. So really just honing in on what hires that they want at DTA.
Hi everyone, my name is Claudia Diaz Martinez. I'm a third-year PhD student at Boston University. And I want to thank, first of all, the Rappaport family and everyone at the Rappaport Institute for this opportunity this summer. I arrived to the United States and to Boston in 2020, and I think maybe a lot of people here know that when you arrive to a new country, sometimes it's hard to feel like you belong here. And thanks to this experience during the summer and being part of this amazing community, I'm starting to call Boston my home. So thank you. And this summer I had the privilege to work at the City of Boston's Environment Department in their carbon neutrality program, specifically in the BERDO program, which is the city's new Buildings Emissions Reductions and Disclosure Ordinance, which mandates all large buildings in Boston, including some Harvard buildings in Allston, to become net zero by 2050. So I hope you're doing some work on that. Yes, during my daily life as a PhD student, I spend my time thinking about how cities can incorporate justice into climate policies and complaining about how cities don't do enough monitoring that is Justice Center for Climate Programs. And this summer, I actually got to work in developing environmental justice metrics for the ordinance, and it's been really eye-opening to see the challenges, but also the amazing opportunities and the joy of doing climate justice work within city government. So thank you again for everyone in the Rappaport Institute for this opportunity.
Hi, my name is Katie Beckel, and I'm a rising 2L at Boston College Law School. First, I want to thank Phyllis and the Rappaport family for the wonderful opportunity I had this summer. This summer, I interned in the office of Massachusetts State Senator Joan Lovely, who represents the 2nd Essex, which includes my hometown. One of the most impactful experiences I had this summer was actually working on constituent services and getting to hear from constituents making phone calls to our office. Oftentimes, people are calling at some really pivotal, difficult moments of their life as kind of a last resort to find access to services and support. So I felt incredibly privileged to take those kind of phone calls and helped play a small role in connecting them to the support and services that they need. Also, I want to shout out to my amazing supervisor, Joe, who was fantastic all summer. And I really loved getting to see everyone in the senator's office be an advocate for their constituents in so many different ways. And it really just affirmed to me my desire to continue to pursue a career in kind of direct legal services and advocacy work. Thank you again.
Hello, everyone. My name is Samantha Perlman. I'm a rising 2L at Boston College Law School and a dual degree student at Tufts in urban planning and environmental policy. And I would like to give a shout out. I'm joined by the wonderful Dean from BC Law here, Dean Ring, as well as my supervisor, Daniel Lander. And I want to thank the Rappaport family for this incredible opportunity, investing in the next generation of public service leaders. It really is such a unique program, and I've been so proud to be part of it. And Lissy, you will also get a shout out. Thank you for all your incredible work, and it's been a pleasure, and I feel lucky to have you so close at BC Law. I had the honor to work in the mayor's policy office this summer, working on a variety of policy issues, everything from downtown revitalization to working through our land audit, special event permitting reform, dog park guidelines, which are very close to my heart now. There will be dog parks in Boston, and so many other projects. And for me, as someone who also is serving in their 2nd term as a city councilor in Marlborough here in Massachusetts, I'm just so impressed with the incredible work of the people behind the scenes here at City Hall doing just incredible grassroots work, working with constituents, being able to work with advocacy organizations and turn policy into real change for the city of Boston. So especially with the new administration, just seeing how they turn these bold ideas into action is just incredibly inspiring, and I feel so lucky to be a part of it. So thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to taking this knowledge with me to my own community and being able to continue to improve the lives of so many people. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Musa Kamara. I'm a student at Boston College in the School of Social Work. Well, I want to thank the family and also the staff at the Institute for giving me this opportunity to work at the Department of Mental Health and connected me with these amazing people, my supervisor here, Daniel, and also my supervisors, Emeka and also Morgan, who is not here. This program exposes me to work on issues that related to immigrant children, and I was able to look at resources that can benefit immigrant children. As we know or maybe aware, and some of our immigrant family don't come through Logan Airport. They come through our borders, and they are packed in buses, and some of them are fortunate to arrive in Massachusetts. And when they come here, how do they get services? So I was curious to understand what it is out there and how we can actually reach out to them. And what I found out is the resources are there, but the marketing and the messaging is problematic. So I was able to see how I can work with these amazing people at the Department of Mental Health in order how we can better market the information and also able to connect other partners to reach out to immigrant families. So it's an opportunity that I'm grateful about, and I'm going to take this experience because my goal, since I'm in the social work department in the global program, is to take this to the global south, which is the new term, the global south. Like, my goal is to see how I can better improve on policies that impact the people who are not fortunate to have what this country is blessed with. Thank you again for this opportunity, and I'm grateful to be part of it.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Madeline Levin. I am a second-year urban planning student at Harvard's Graduate School of Design. This summer, I'm working with the City of Medford in their Office of Planning, Development, and Sustainability. I'm working on their trash. I think I said that at our first event and got a laugh then too. But I think, as an urban planning student, I am really interested in the, infrastructures and the people, I think, that are often really hidden that make our cities run. You can't, if you're lucky in your life, you won't need to call the fire department, you won't need to call the police department, but you need your trash picked up every week. And so I've really loved working with the City of Medford. It's a really collaborative office. It's a really an office where you get to have conversations with people working on all sorts of different things. In my work, I've helped put together a citizen task force talking about putting together a new trash hauling contract, working with a working group at the state level of other small towns and cities throughout Massachusetts, thinking about their trash hauling contracts. So I think it's a really exciting time in the world of waste to think about the system as a whole and, how an ideal trash system is not just about a hauler picking up your trash and taking it away from your home, but a system of partners and collaborators. And I think that's what's really great about public service and about planning, is that it is very collaborative. And I want to thank Polly, obviously, and Catherine and the Rappaports for this opportunity. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Julia Sproul. I actually just graduated from Harvard Graduate School of Education. I also want to thank Phyllis and the Rappaport Institute and Polly and Catherine for this amazing opportunity. Before I went back to graduate school, I actually was teaching for 10 years, so this is an audience that I'm not used to. I'm used to lots of little faces in third grade, so thanks for bearing with me. But I wouldn't be here without this amazing institute and this opportunity. I am Boston born and bred, so this is a great way to give back to a city that has given me so much throughout my lifetime. I had the amazing opportunity of working at the Department of Higher Education with Keith. I was working on the Basic Needs Security Action Guide, so thinking about not only are we getting college students to college, but what students need to be able to persist and ultimately graduate. So thinking about housing insecurity, food insecurity, lack of childcare, lack of transportation, how all those different issues come together to really hinder students, particularly historically marginalized and non-traditional students, from being able to persist and graduate through college. This action resource guide is going to help campuses either begin or enrich the work that they're already doing on their campuses to make sure that students have all of the opportunities available to them, and also the barriers to these resources are brought down. Thank you again for this opportunity, and I look forward to advocating for basic needs security on the federal level with my next adventure. Thank you.
Hi, I'm facing this way. It's kind of weird. Hi, my name is Kimberly Roten. My pronouns are they, them. And I am a repeat fellow, so I was housed in the mayor's office of New Urban Mechanics, and I'm back again. Last summer, I was there working with a team to identify the challenges of the Office of Returning Citizens. So for those who don't know, the Office of Returning Citizens is housed in the mayor's office in Boston and works with people who are returning from jail and prison. And we identified that the biggest problem was money, right? That office was deeply underfunded and divested over the last 5 years. And I'm very, very happy to say that since that finding, thanks to the considerable efforts by Mayor Michelle Wu and the City Council, their budget has been increased by 700%. So this summer was spent looking at how to spend that money equitably in order to promote racial equity and to reduce homelessness. So some of that work looked like proposals to City Council and to city leadership, such as a guaranteed income program for people who are coming back from incarceration to our city in order to set them up for success. It also looked like identifying a rapid rehousing program that we can implement with ARPA funds. So thank you so much to the state and to the government for that. And then lastly, it also looked like making collaborative MOUs, or memorandums of understanding, with the state, so the Registry of Motor Vehicles, the Registry of Vital Records, et cetera, right, in order to promote a successful transition back to our community. It's very important. I just want to thank the Rappaport family and also the foundation. This has really changed my life. I am looking into taking on a full-time position in City Hall and continuing this work and actually getting to see some of these projects come to fruition. And I just could not thank you enough for that. So thank you.
Move away from the camera. That is quite close. Good evening, everyone. My name is Oscar Mairena. I'm a doctoral student in public health at the Chance School here at Harvard. I also did my master's here. Hi, Professor Bilmes, how are you? So I've been working with the Office of Recovery Services and the Boston Public Health Commission and Mayor's Office of Recovery Services, working on ways to expand and opportunities to expand and challenges to expand harm reduction services for people who use and inject drugs in Boston, with the focus on overdose prevention and a focus on getting folks off the street. I want to, first of all, thank Phyllis and the Rappaport family for this opportunity. It's been an incredible summer, and I just want to acknowledge the complexity of the issue that we're working on. The number of opioid deaths are sky high in Boston and in Massachusetts, and it really takes working across the city to deal with these issues. And so it's been a huge learning opportunity for me to see the way that the city comes together to address and tackle these issues. Thank you again.
Hello, everyone. I promise I'm like second to last, so everyone's like clinking quietly. Thank you so much for having me here, the Rappaport family. I have had an incredible summer. My name is Valentina Tovar, and I got the privilege to work in the mayor's policy office. I always would be remiss without saying thank you to Tali Robbins, the deputy chief of policy in the mayor's office as well, for all the incredible opportunities, and to Polly, or supervisor for the public policy fellowship. I think since our first Zoom call, she was so supporting in the application process. So this summer, I got the opportunity to work in some education initiatives within the mayor's office. I quickly began with some behind-the-scenes support with some public interview panels for our now superintendent, Mary Skipper, which we're really excited about, and turned into some Green New Deal for Boston Public Schools in ensuring that every kid within BPS has some quality guarantee of opportunities within their renovations or mergers or new construction of schools. We have 145 schools, so deciding and prioritizing different projects has been a really interesting and exciting research process. I have also gotten the opportunity to work in creating a framework and best practice research for a children's cabinet, which is almost a coalition of public and private sector members coming together to advocate above education, but really all the needs of kids within Boston. And I think my biggest takeaway is, well, there's two actually. One, I would say the amount of work that needs to come between private and public and just partnerships through cross-sector collaboration is huge in making anything happen within government. And then two, I think getting to be in the office with our policy team and the comms team and seeing the amount of effort, initiative, work, and passion behind leaders in the city because of the vision of the mayor has been incredible. So thank you so much to the Rappaport family again, and I'm so, so grateful for this experience.
Hi, everyone. I'm the last one, so I'll take a little bit more time than usual. My name is Armando Vizcardo. I am going into my second year and final year at Brandeis University at the Heller School. First, I just want to say thank you so much to Phyllis Rappaport, the Rappaport family, and the Rappaport Institute staff, Paulina and Catherine. This has been an amazing internship, and thank you for all the ongoing support throughout the summer too as well. I did my internship at the Office of Economic Empowerment under the State Treasurer's Office. There I assisted on 2 initiatives. One focused on kickstarting a educational and training program for that would provide $4,500 to 14 individuals in Lynn and Springfield to start their home daycare program. And so in addition to that financial assistance, we are also providing the grantees training not just on how to start your home daycare program, but also training around being a business owner, since many don't see themselves as that, even though that's essentially who they are. The second initiative is the development of a baby bonds legislation that for the state of Massachusetts. And so baby bonds program would essentially create a government endowed trust for every baby born in Massachusetts that could be used for wealth building opportunities once they reach the age of maturity, and that could be used for college expenses, for home ownership, to start a business, to invest in a business, and so many other ways too as well for wealth building opportunities. And so we kickstarted the task force this summer, around 80 or so different stakeholders from across the state, different social service providers, community-based organizations, and leaders in the community who are taking part in the recommendations of this baby bonds of the baby bonds legislation that we hope to file at the end of this coming fall. And I've been leading 2 out of the 4 subcommittee groups, so coordinating the meetings, providing ongoing technical support, conducting a literature review on past program designs and best practices within the fields of children's savings accounts and individual development accounts, as well as a landscape analysis of past baby bond proposals and some that have been already enacted in DC and in the state of Connecticut. And so, yeah, and so now I am going to be fortunately enough to continue this work during this coming fall. I'm going to be sticking around the Office of OE. And just to finish up, one big takeaway from my internship is that it takes a village and a lot of community input to scale and to implement very large statewide policy that really enhances the lives of mostly very vulnerable individuals that have been left out historically and excluded from these conversations. And so I just want to say thank you so much to the Rappaport family, and a big shout out to my parents who came from all the way to from Berkshire County to see me today.
Now you can all applause. Hello, hello. I'm sorry to interrupt all the conversations. I know this is a heavy program. Hello, welcome all. I'm Catherine Carlson, the Executive Director of the Rappaport Institute for Greater Boston here at Harvard. And, you know, Jordan, you mentioned when you spoke that you were worried about going after Bailey. Can you imagine what it feels like to have to go after 36 amazing fellows? So that's all. I'm not going to say anything else. Thank you for coming. No, but really, the breadth and depth of the work that you all accomplish in 10 weeks is what you're doing. This is amazing. And the impact you have, and as you heard our faculty director say before, we actually know we have the quantitative data to show that this is incredibly impactful and incredibly impactful for Greater Boston. So thank you. And not just you, thank you to the supervisors, the mentors, the champions that we have for this program. So can we just do a round of applause again for everyone? I, luckily, am only up here with the distinct honor to welcome Phyllis Rappaport to share a few words with us. Many of you know Phyllis and knew Jerry, and as you all heard, they are owed a great deal of gratitude for lifting up almost 600 fellows over 22 years of this program. And so you understand their support for public policy and leadership development through the Rappaport Institute and the Rappaport Center at Boston College Law School, as well as their family and the Rappaport Foundation board and staff. I'm not sure if you all know that Phyllis is also a champion of medical research, the arts, education, and so much more. In addition to her lead role at the Rappaport Foundation, Phyllis is the founder and director of Cure Alzheimer's Fund, which has donated over $100 million, 150 million, is that right? Over $150 million. I think this is old data I had, so over $150 million to Alzheimer's research since its inception in 2004. As Phyllis says, you guys you're gonna find the cure. You're the leading edge of finding the cure to Alzheimer's. And for all of you who get to remain in this Rappaport family for a long time, you'll get to know that Phyllis is also a lover and patron of the arts. She helped found, along with Jerry and the foundation, the Rappaport Art Prize, which supports contemporary artists and musicians in our communities. I mean, this is the beauty and the creativity that lift us all in all the work we do every day. So, we owe a thanks more than just for public policy. We owe it for the arts, we owe it for medicine. Thank you, Phyllis. And so I'd love to just welcome you up here to share some words and to share some words from a special guest as well. Thank you.
Wow. Jerry and I always came to this closing dinner with huge delight. He would be so proud, as I am, hearing your enormous and varied accomplishments. I want to thank Jeff for his introduction of Jerry earlier, and I especially appreciate his mention of the two mayors that bookcased 70 years, and another time I'll have to tell him how he helped some other people become mayor in the city. Listening to you reminds me that his legacy lives on through each of you, our policy rock star Rappaport Fellows. These fellowships came from Jerry's bold desire to engage top talent from the great academic institutions of this city to address key issues in state and local government. He believed the best cities and state governments continually requires new energy and fresh perspectives. He understood that for our cities and services to evolve, leaders and leadership needed to evolve with them. I hope that your fellowship has demonstrated that you can influence policy and be a driving force, even at a very young age. And while our municipalities and state governments face difficult times, I'm confident that the people in this room will help see us through those challenges. You are the change. You are the evolution. I can look around this room and really believe that our brightest days are ahead of us and the future is in good hands, your good hands. I want to acknowledge the support of your supervisors, mentors, and advisors, many of whom are here tonight, and you're really important. You are our coaching efforts, and you are our demand supply, our supply chain. And I want to just thank again our terrific partners at Harvard Kennedy School and Boston College Law School, Dan and Lissy at BC, Jeff, Catherine, and Polly here at Harvard. Now, I was going to tell you a little more about our foundation, but Catherine did a good job of that. As Rappaport Fellows, you join a large network of change agents in public policy, medical research, and contemporary art. Our foundation may be small, but our impact can be felt through the talent we support in all these areas. The Harvard Kennedy School Rappaport Urban Scholars Program provides full tuition scholarships to Boston area officials for a master's in public administration. And our two people this year who have those opportunities are here with us tonight. And the Rappaport Applied Field Lab, led by Professor Linda Bilmes, enlists teams of graduate students who tackle real-world operational challenges with area mayors and other civic leaders. And as Catherine said, beyond public policy, we fund numerous top medical researchers who are unlocking the mysteries of neurodegenerative diseases and mental illness. We kind of go after those intractable areas that are very difficult to solve. And we do this with 3 terrific partners at Mass General, McLean, and Brigham and Women's Hospitals. We fund an annual award in clinical innovation at the Brigham, where young researchers, actually young doctors, research innovative ways to improve healthcare while cutting costs. And we do support amazing contemporary artists through the Rappaport Cash Prize awarded annually by the Decorah Sculpture Park and Museum. Our foundation logo, the laurel wreath, is on the pin you received tonight, and that's a beautiful new version. And it symbolizes that you are kind of our Olympic stars, and we feel committed to celebrating the talent in each of you. We're proud of the many ways that you and other Rappaport Fellows may break new ground, challenge societal and medical norms, give voice to the disenfranchised, and improve opportunities for economic growth in our state and local governments. Now, our hope is that as you grow in your careers, you stay engaged with the foundation. The best way to do that is by joining Rappaport Connects. It's an online portal for alumni and friends of the foundation. I encourage you to send us your career milestones so we can share them in our newsletter and social media, and you will get a letter tomorrow, every fellow will, from Sean Horgan from our foundation with more details. And in past years, this is when I would introduce Jerry. And Jerry always spoke without notes. And he often went on, and I would sort of like, but people loved hearing him. And somehow he inspired his listeners in a profound way. And to give you just a little sense of him, we've put together a short video that I'd like to share with you. Thank you.
I'm looking at all of you and I see the future. When I finally acquired some funds, I decided that I should become more engaged in philanthropy. And what became clear was promoting emerging leaders. It wasn't going to solve the problems of the world. What we could end up doing is promoting young people, talented people, to work on these problems and to become extended part of our collective effort to achieve a public good. It's one thing to have a vision of how you can encourage the best and the brightest to find the challenge and excitement. It's another thing to be realized. I do want to tell you how proud I am of all of you and how each of you has contributed so much to my life, by who you are, what you are doing, and what you will end up doing. You are during a time where cities are in crises in a very different way, and very divided, and partisanship has to some extent separated that sense of unity that joined people in my era in terms of thinking about the future of the city. So I hope you all meet that challenge and find this These are the most fruitful years that you're going to have. You can do amazing amounts of things. And you have the capacity and you have had the experience here to realize that you can influence public policy and you can do it at a young age, and your idealism and your drive will be what will make our country and that. That's an important part of what the issues are that we have in the country, is the ability for us all to be able to see things from the other person's perspective. All of you are going to grow, and we would like to figure out a way of helping you network with each other. Because just as you've had a great time here, each of you over the years are going to have increasing power, increasing influence, increasing circle. And one thing you know about life is that networking is one of the keys. My hope is that you will take seriously this button that you've gotten, that you will stay engaged as Rappaport Fellows. When you have a brilliant idea, don't keep it to yourself. Send it out. Because there are other people who may be able to help and facilitate those. It's a rich resource. And my hope is that each of you will continue to stay engaged. And continuing involvement will be a very meaningful way of fulfilling the thanks that you've expressed to us and me, because obviously we'd like this to continue and to succeed. This was the power of young people, the power of you in the room. And I must say, you end up here thanking Phyllis and me, but I can't tell you how thankful we are for you. You reinforce our sense of confidence that the world may have difficult times, but we get through it. We get through it because we produce continuing leadership and small progress. And every time I see someone who wears one of our Rappaport badges or comes up and says to me that this is one of the best experiences they've had, or I read about them, I get a great sense of satisfaction and pride.
I don't know how to follow that. That was incredible. And thank you for Sean and Tim and the staff at the Rappaport Foundation that put that together. You're all enjoying dessert. We are coming to the end of what's official. You guys all really stuck to your 90 seconds. This went quick. I told my husband I wasn't going to be home before 9 p.m., but so. Phyllis, what a treat to actually have Jerry here with us this year, right? He's still here. And I'm so glad he's here in spirit, but also, it's as if those words were meant for this class, and we all take a deep sense of satisfaction and pride in everything that you have done. Before I close out, and again, keep eating and chatting and hang out for a little bit, keep that network going. I want to make sure we don't forget our colleagues here who really made this night happen. Lissy at the Rappaport Center at Boston College Law School, who has just been an amazing colleague and friend of mine. Thank you. Ava Jansen-Morales, who works with us here at HKS and volunteered her evening to just help us run this event. So Ava, thank you. That's amazing. And last, but obviously not least, the most important person here who made this happen and who makes the fellowships happen from our end at the Institute, Polly O'Brien. Polly actually just celebrated her 20th anniversary with the Rappaport Institute. So as she tells me, I believe you only missed 2 classes of fellows, 1 class of fellows. She knows almost all of our almost 400 from the Institute Fellows, which is pretty incredible, and can remember the projects they did and where they are now. It's really incredible. How about just one more round of applause, please? And a plug for Polly's other favorite pastime, the New England Revolution. If anyone ever wants to go see a soccer game, you should definitely talk to her. We are not getting commission from the team at all this evening. So while we're concluding tonight, and it's hard to conclude tonight because, every year we say that this is just the most inspiring. Actually, our board member, Ben Foreman over there, who's with Mass Inc., you said to me when I first joined, man, this is an amazing night. This is like the most inspiring thing I go to all year, and we should get the Boston Globe here to hear about all these projects that, so if anyone has contacts and wants to bring the Globe next year, great. But while we're concluding, and the summer fellowship program is officially ending, as you heard from Phyllis and from Jerry, you are all now Rappaport Fellowship alumni. Public policy, law, public finance. We really look forward, we truly, deeply look forward to continuing to support you in your careers and your leadership opportunities and the work you want to do. We implore you, stay in touch with us. We're going to stay in touch with you. We're going to try. But please also stay in touch with us. And do consider yourself part of this incredible family and the network for the rest of your lives. So thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the evening and enjoy the rest of your summers. So thank you all so much.